So this is my first time actually making a sign for a public building. It's probably one of my biggest prints because it's done in pieces and it has to be put together. Very straightforward and very simple design. It's just letters broken into pieces, and the other parts, like the leaf above the word Elim and then the wee half moon shape underneath, split into parts to suit the printer size, the build plate. So yeah, I've more or less it all done here. As you've seen in the footage, it's up and all, it looks pretty good, I'm happy with it. So how it came about was a friend of mine, Ben, does a lot of work for churches and stuff and is involved with that church, and he asked me could I print a sign. Me being me, I don't like saying no, and I was just like, well, surely I could do something. I could make giant letters and do something like that. So after doing a bit of design and then getting these shapes and pieces put together here, I cut them up, sliced them up and printed them separately and butted them then together. Then I got him to give me a screw to test for the size of the hole that goes through and into the wall. Then what I'd done was, whenever I measured that was in, nearly flush actually, I wanted to create these wee caps that actually went over the hex of the bolt, pressed in, so it was near flush. So from a distance you didn't see just a big silver head of a screw, and that it was actually closed over. I've actually put a wee tiny hole on the caps to allow water to kind of go in and flush out. I don't really want water just sitting in there or whatever. And that's more or less it. So I'm pretty pleased with that project. It was fun. It took a bit of time. Printing that there amount of massive material in one go was, it's a fair bit of material, it's a fair bit of printing. I think even like the likes of that letter E was about, dare I say, 8 to 9 hours on one go. Not too bad, you print it overnight, whatever. But when you've other jobs on and stuff and going, it takes up, you know, a fair wee bit. But pretty pleased with the project overall. Designing the likes of this that join together and meet up. How difficult was that? Not too bad. I mean, I drew it out as a complete piece. I drew it and designed it in one go, and then I measured the distance between the end and how far I can print, and I just cut it side on. So as you can see, that's actually just stepped down, and I just went in and just sliced it in pieces. Wasn't the hardest thing to do really. So then whenever they're put together, they should just meet up nicely. And then whenever that's bolted tight, that'll pull down onto that. So yeah, pretty cool project. It was fun. It was cool to just figure it out. And also the other thing I had to remember was, yes, obviously I have a blue plug for the blue letters and green for the leaf thing at the top. I had to also bear in mind too that every piece I'd done, that I wanted the front face that was seen to be printed face down, because when you're printing facing down onto the build plate, it gives a better finish usually than printing on the back side. So it's maybe hard to see. I'll show you some bit of like B-roll footage here now, and as you see there, that's not the greatest of finishes on the top side, but I needed everything that was shown to the public face and eye on display, that it was actually used printed face down. So a wee bit of orientation, a wee bit of trial and error, changing and chopping up. Not the hardest thing to do. Very simple sign, very effective and bold. So overall, this wee project was cool. It was good fun, and I'm excited to see. It's done out of PETG, which is a little bit more rigid and sturdy than your typical PLA material prints that you would use on a lot of stuff. But PETG should hold up a fair bit better in like the likes of sunlight over time, over years, as well as weather. They aren't 100% solid because it wouldn't be worthwhile doing these in absolute solid material. I would still be printing these weeks later if it was. And if you're going to go down that route, you'll be spending far too much money on materials making these solid than you would be probably just buying the sign from a Chinese supplier of solid acrylic or something. But the good thing with printing the likes of this is you're getting it in a couple or few days. You can iterate the changes and chop it up a bit different quickly too. And you can just manipulate it when you want and how you like. So yeah, overall, well pleased with that. That's just another project under the hood. And the next one coming up is pretty crazy, pretty exciting, scary, but stay tuned for it because it's next level.